Hi everybody, this is Sandy from the Hollis Library, and we have decided that instead of canceling our story hour, we are going to bring it to you via video and Facebook feed. So happy St. Patrick's Day everybody. As you can see, I am wearing my green. I have my nice little green unicorn hat on, and we are now going to read one of my all-time favorite stories with a little bit of a twist on it. The story we're going to read today is called Alaska's Three Bears. So grab a seat and get ready, and here we go. Once upon a time, there were three bears. A big white bear, a medium-sized brown bear, and a small little black bear. Can you see the bears? There they are. At the first sign of spring, the bears began to wander across the great land known as Alaska. One by one, they came to a vast, empty delta, and it was there that they met each other for the first time. There's the bears. They are making friends. Isn't that awesome? The big white bear was tired because he had traveled the farthest. With spring almost over, he decided it was time to head for home. He just grunted when the brown bear asked to go along. The small black bear tagged behind, skipping sometimes to catch up. One day, after crossing miles of bald hills, they came to a place where the land met a frozen sea. The snow crunched as they followed a twisted path through the mountains, and mountains of ice. The sky was icy fresh, and it seemed to dip and disappear until it landed in the white glare of the ocean. And there they are. They're traveling a long, long ways. Don't put your fingers in your mouth. The big white bear, the medium-sized brown bear, and the small black bear saw lots of tiny tracks in the snow. "Look, an Arctic fox," said the brown bear. They heard a plop and a splash from a nearby hole in the ice. A ringed seal whispered to the big white bear. Then everything was still. And there they are. There's the Arctic fox right there. And there's the ring-tailed seal. The small black bear sniffed the air and shivered. "This place is too cold," he said. The medium-sized brown bear growled. "This place is too lonely." But the big white bear climbed to the top of a high ridge, stretched his long neck. His black eyes sparkled as he scooped a mouthful of snow with his dark tongue. Then he walked pigeon-toed down the slippery surface using his short, sharp claws. There he is. In the stillness, the polar bear looked like he was made of ice and carved by the Arctic wind. His hollow, cream-colored hair kept him warm and helped him blend into the ice-covered land so he could hunt the ringed seals. He turned to his friend and said, "This place is just right." Then he dove into the frigid water. The small black bear just sniffed as they left the polar bear's home. The brown bear grumbled, "Who could live here? Not me, no way. I don't like ice. I don't like snow. I don't even like fishing at 40 below." So the two headed south. They crossed tall blue mountains covered with moss and wildflowers. After many, many miles, they came to a big river. Its sharp banks dropped to the silty water. The two bears wandered through a tangle of willows until they came to a stream. The small black bear gulped a drink and scrambled across, but the medium-sized brown bear stopped when he saw a flick of red in the water. There they are at the river. What do you think the flick of red in the water could be? Let's find out. A salmon thrashed its tail, kicking up gravel as he swam upstream. The gentle wind ruffled along the hump of gold-tipped hair on the grizzly's back. The bear turned and saw his own tracks, huge and swirled with wrinkles. Suddenly he lunged at another salmon, trying to pin the fish down with his big paws. His claws, long and curved, were as perfect for fishing as they were for digging, the roots he loved to nibble in the spring. And there he is. He's catching the salmon. The small black bear groaned. "The ground is too hard here. This place is not home. There are no berries, no forests to roam." But the grizzly heard a raven calling and saw a caribou prance by on the other side of the stream. There were ground squirrels to chase and roots to dig. "This place is just right," he told the small black bear, and he started upstream, following the salmon. There he goes. That's his home. The small black bear lumbered away with his head down. His last friend was gone, and he was still a long, long way from home. He wandered through the summer, lonely and sad, until he came to the edge of a deep forest. In the cool autumn shade, he stopped at a stump to dig for bugs with his curved, narrow claws. The wood was the color of a shadow, dark gray and blue. It matched his glossy fur, and it made him feel better to know that he could hide in the forest and be safe. There's this little black bear in the forest. The black bear climbed a nearby tree. He heard the friendly chatter of the magpies and smelled the spruce trees. He saw a bull moose and a red fox. He liked the soft moss at the foot of his tree and the way the light swam through the tall branches. There he is with his friends, the moose and the fox. As he scrambled down, he spotted a clearing where the ground was dappled in red and blue. Berries grew so thick his mouth watered. The smallest of Alaska's bears ran to pick the blueberries, cranberries, and a currant or two. He nibbled and gobbled and gulped. Suddenly it was all familiar, like a dream he had had before. "This place is just right," he said. Now each spring, when the light lingers in the sky, when the geese fly north and the flowers bloom, the three bears come out to wander. They may cross mountains or sail an iceberg out to sea, but no matter how far Alaska's bears roam, they can always find their way back home. And that is the end of the story. Thank you for joining us today for Story Hour, and we hope you have a really good rest of your week.